All right, welcome back. Happy Saturday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're as fired up about this, about what we're talking about as I am. This is the Real Estate Zone, all the information you need in today's market, airing every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on Financial News and Talk, AM 1450. I'm your host, Mike Litton, and we're joined again by head football coach Mark Carlson of the Escondido Charter High School football program. And Coach, we were talking earlier about, and I know we were talking over the break, about the effect that this has on kids and how it affects the way that they become citizens and the students they become and ultimately the men they become. One of the things that I mentioned to you before the break was one of the moms said to my wife that her son became a man in your football program. And, this is a big deal because a lot of kids nowadays think that the ultimate thing to do is to be cool, and getting fired up is not something that they think is cool. But what's interesting about football is football teaches them not only discipline, not only teaches them about hard work, but it teaches them that they can be passionate about something, they can throw their passion behind it, and they can get pumped up, they can get fired up, and they can go after something, and if they work hard enough and they focus on it, they can accomplish anything. Those are the lessons that football teaches them, and I think it's invaluable.
Yes, sir. And well, especially when we're battling a lot of immediate gratification.
Absolutely.
Instant communication, instant feedback, instant food. I mean, it's all around us, and so we're really battling kind of a cultural thing right here that the kids at times, you flush a lot of, I say weak sauce guys. Weak sauce. I flush a lot of weak sauce people out of the program because they want that immediate starting position, or they want those immediate bench press up to be higher. They're not willing to sacrifice and put the time into it.
Right.
Knowing they may or may not succeed in the end.
Right.
But I think the courage there with playing football and anything else you do, the courage is just battling through and putting the hard work in with the hope and the desire that you will succeed in the end. And that's really, we're not guaranteed any football games. I said to guys in January and February, you're not guaranteed to win every game if you work hard in January and February.
Right, that's true.
But what you're doing is, you see all the intrinsic value of that, but you're setting the groundwork and the framework to be competitive, and in order to give you an opportunity to win a football game in the fall. And if you're not putting that groundwork in, that discipline in, months before, then we're fooling ourselves if we think that we're going to all of a sudden show up and get something done like that.
No, I totally
and have the same benefit of it.
I totally agree. For those of you that just joined us, we're talking to head football coach Mark Carlson, one of my favorite people in the world, and he's the head football coach of the Escondido Charter High School football program. We're talking about specifically what football can do for youngsters and what I'm watching happen with my son and what I'm watching happen with the rest of the team and the boys that are showing up that are becoming men. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on was how impressed I am with the way that you approach this. We teach leadership a lot, and one of the things that we teach is, the more mistakes you make, the wiser you get if you learn from your mistakes, right? And one of the things I tell people all the time is the reason why I'm teaching them is because I've gone out and made more mistakes than they have. But you got to go out and take risks in order to do that, and that's what I believe football does for these kids. It teaches them that they can go out and take a risk, and they may not succeed, right? But they're going to live to fight again tomorrow. They're going to go out and they're going to work really hard, and they're going to go out in a football game and they might lose, right? Or they might mess up, or they might have a tough game, or whatever. But they come back the next day and they repair, and they, like you said, they eat right, they do the things that, and that's what's so amazingly impressive about you is, you're talking to these kids and you're like, look, you may not make this program, but you're still going to be a buddy of mine. You're still going to be somebody that I'm going to talk to. You're still going to be somebody I'm going to work with, that kind of thing. That's something that I think is really rare. And I believe that it's something that's absolutely world class about you, about your attitude, about who you are as a person. And I really, really am impressed by what you're doing and how you're reinvigorating this program. And I have to tell you that anybody and I've talked to a lot of people that have kids involved in this and grandkids involved in this program, and they're impressed too. So the word's getting out, and I want this program to be part of that. I want to get the word out that there's something really, really special going on at Escondido Charter High School, specifically with the football program, but also with the actual school itself. This is an award-winning school. This is an award-winning program. I had the opportunity to address the Escondido City Council and also the school board with regard to and in favor of the Escondido charter system. And one of the things that I pointed out to them is they should be proud to be in business and to be associated and affiliated with Coach Snyder. What he has built back when he started this was not known. The charter system was not known. He put the charter system on the map. He took great risk and lost a lot of political capital trying to do this, right? He literally walked off the cliff, so to speak, and then looked for a parachute. And I really admire what he's done, and I could not be happier. My children are in this system, as you well know, and I could not be happier with how they flourished. My daughter Madison and my son Michael have just absolutely gone, I'm over the moon about the advancements they've made and how they flourish being in this system. And it's why we have waiting lists for every single spot, you know. It's why it's so popular. The word is getting out. And by doing what you're doing with the football program, you're taking this leadership position and you're literally, for lack of a better term, taking out a billboard and saying, look, this is where it starts. This is what happens in a quality organization. And I really appreciate everything that you've done, and I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, our charter school is an absolute jewel of this city, and it's a big, big deal. And people are going to ask me, and I know this is going to happen, people have already asked me, why do you have a football coach on a real estate program? Because the football coach of this particular school is an attraction for people. People want their kids educated. They want quality education for their children. And Escondido, for the longest time, has been kind of the blight of the county in terms of education standards. And it's not anymore. You know, we now have some of the top schools in the entire state. And we have our city council members and our mayor and different people